Hi and welcome back to Something About a Chainsaw Gaming. Today I'm going to be talking about the Trapper again. My favorite killer in this game. I love this guy. Uh, as I said in my earlier video, I'm going to be doing a video today strictly on the perks that the Trapper has, and my favorite perks, and why I like them. So let's get started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over each perk, then I'm going to read you the description of it, and then I'm going to go back and tell you the perks that I use and why I use them. This first perk, Distressing. Your horrifying emanation strikes at a supernaturally long distance. Your terror radius is increased by 24%. Gain 15% more blood points for actions in the deviousness category. This is an okay perk. I don't hardly use it. Actually, pretty positive that I never use it. Just because you don't really want to increase your terror radius per se, or at least I don't, because that means that the survivors know that you're coming before you get there. So, you know, I think that's not a very good perk to have. Okay, we're going to move on to the next perk now. Okay, Deer Stalker. This one's one of my favorites. It unlocks potential in one's aura reading ability. Reveals dying survivors' auras when standing within 36-meter range. Basically, guys, this is for if you're carrying a survivor and you want to lay them down, you don't want to forget where they're at, you can see them. If they get stuck in a bear trap and they go straight to a dying state, you're going to see them. They're going to turn red. They can't hide in the tall grass. Basically, this perk is a must-have. It's one of the best perks I think that they have in the game, and I would hope that they keep it in the game for the longevity of the game. Anyway, we're moving on to the next perk now. Unnerving Presence. Your presence alone instills great fear. Survivors within your terror radius have an 8% greater chance of triggering skill checks when repairing, healing, or sabotaging. Triggered skill checks success zones are reduced by 15%. Okay, I don't use this one. It's just another one of those where I don't use it. I never have used it. I'm sure there's players out there that do use it. It's just another useless perk to me. But you know, everybody's got perks that they like the most, and this is just one that I don't like. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next perk. All right, Insidious. This is probably my #1 favorite perk. Insidious unlocks the stealth ability. By standing still for 3 seconds, you reduce your terror radius to 0 and become stealthy until you move or act again. Okay, and that is also the tier 3 of the Insidious perk. All these perks that I have, guys, these are all the level 3 of the perk. Sorry, I'm not going to be going over the lower levels. Just play the game. It's going to be the same perk, it's just going to be a little less effective. Yes, Insidious level 3 is definitely another must-have in my arsenal. I love this perk. I use it every time I play as a trapper. Basically, like it says, it unlocks the stealth ability. If you stand still with this perk for 3 seconds, you have no terror radius. So basically, they can't hear you. A lot of survivors in this game play solely on that terror radius. If they can't hear the heartbeat, they think they're safe, so they just run blindly. I've had survivors run straight into me before, literally, because they didn't know I was there. No one escapes death. This is an ultra rare perk, and I also have the stage 3 of this perk. This is another one that I like a lot. In the last dev Twitch stream, they said that they're going to actually be nerfing this perk a little bit, which kind of sucks. But I don't know when they're going to do it. I don't know what update. They didn't really specify, but they said that they are planning on nerfing this perk a little bit. So just be prepared for that. It's going to change from the description that I'm about to give. Okay. No one escapes death. You are animated by an unseen force when the survivors are on the verge of escaping. Once the exit gates are powered, successful attacks put them into a dying state automatically. Cooldowns are successful and missed attacks are decreased by 8% and your movement speed is increased by 5%. Okay, basically guys, what this does is instead of the 2 swings that it takes to get a survivor down, you hit a survivor 1 time and they go down on the ground. That's it. This is a great perk. And it only does it once the gates are powered. Like once the last generator has been powered, then this perk works. And it works very well. I can't count the amount of games that I've actually played with this perk that I've actually killed all the survivors after the last generator was powered, where I didn't kill a survivor at all the whole rest of the match, which kind of sucks that they're going to nerf this perk, but I can kind of understand why. A lot of the people who strictly play as a survivor don't like this perk, and I can see why. Okay, moving on to the next perk. Monstrous Shrine. I don't really use this one. I don't think I ever have. It's okay if you plan on using the basement a lot, which it's not really a good thing to rely on the basement because well, let's just face it, a lot of people are weary of the basement because there's 4 hooks down there and they cannot be destroyed. Any of the other hooks in the level, they can be destroyed. So in my opinion, it's not very good to rely on the basement, but as I said, there are 4 hooks down there that can't be destroyed, so that is a plus. But I don't really use this perk. But I'll go ahead and read this perk to you. You guys decide for yourself if you like it or not. I mean, your fervent care of the hooks found in the basement have aroused the entity's interest. The basement hooks are granted the following bonuses: 9% faster entity progression, 15% increased difficulty on escape attempts, 9% increased penalty to escape fails. So basically, it does make it better if you use this and you are one of those players who strictly like to use the basement as your home turf, where you hang your survivors. That's just not my style of playing. That's not how I play. I like to use whatever hook is most available to me. But now, if I'm playing against one of the survivors and they have taken out every hook in my vicinity, yeah, I will definitely carry that survivor down to the basement if I can get them there. But, you know, I don't rely on the basement, as I said. The next perk is Brutal Strength. I really like this perk. I used it for a while. It's up there in my favorites, but it's not one that I usually use on the daily. But it's a great perk. It's one that you could definitely use. Actually, I think that they're gonna actually make this one a little stronger of a perk than they had before. So this one might be one that you might want to watch out for if you've never played it because you don't think it's powerful enough. Because it is going to be more powerful than it was. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and read you the perk. Brutal Strength. Your great strength allows you to shred through each prey's defenses, destroy dropped barricades 30% faster. And it's exactly as it says. When you're chasing a survivor and they knock down those pallets in front of you, it's one of the most annoying things that can happen. Especially right now with the game in the way it is. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but there's a major problem in the game with collision detection. And it's not only with the survivors throwing down the pallets in front of the killer, it's also sometimes with the killer being able to hit the survivor at an extended... it's also an issue with the killer being able to hit the survivor at an extended pace. You know, maybe I can hit the survivor sometimes from 5 feet away when they're crawling through a window. You know, that's just an example. But I know I definitely should not have hit them, but I did. You know, I'll gladly take that hit. But it just kind of sucks. That's something that I think the devs should really work on, is the collision detection in this game. Sorry, I'm going off on another tangent. This is probably something I should talk about in another video, but I wanted to go ahead and drop that in there. So if you guys, if there's anyone else who's noticed that there's a problem with the collision detection, go ahead and feel free to comment in the comment section of this video. I want to see if anyone else is having the same issues I have. Okay, we're going to move on to the next perk. Okay, this is another perk that I don't use. I think it's kind of useless because it's a perk that you have to use. It takes up an entire perk slot, and it's only good for 6 seconds of an entire match. I'm sure there's probably those of you out there that do use this perk. In my opinion, it's useless. I'll go ahead and read you this one. It's called Bitter Murmur. Unlocks potential in one's aura reading ability. Survivors' auras are revealed to you for a duration of 6 seconds when the exit gates are powered. See, another reason why I don't like this one, other than just it only happening for 6 seconds. What if you're placing a trap, per se, whenever the gates are powered? Okay, you're looking down when you're placing a trap, and you can't get out of that animation unless you let go of it, but you're already in that animation. Like, even if you let go of the button to come back up, you're still stuck in that animation for probably at least 2 seconds. I know some of the speed add-ons for the trapper that allow you to set traps faster, from beginning to end, it takes 3 seconds to set a trap, even with some of the speed perks, or speed add-ons, sorry. So if you just happen to be setting a trap, then you've completely wasted a perk slot by having this. So it may be better as one of the other killers, but specifically as the trapper, in my opinion, this is not a very good perk at all. I would like to see this perk gone and maybe a better one in its place, or maybe something that's different. I don't know. But that's just my opinion. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next perk. Alright, Agitation. You get excited in anticipation of hooking your prey. Increases your speed while transporting bodies 18%. While transporting a body, your terror radius is increased by 6 meters. Okay. This one is pretty good. It's definitely one that's worth checking out. Not really sure how many of you would actually use this one. It's a decent perk though. I'm not going to speak too much on it. I mean, it's pretty straightforward perk in what it does. Let's just go ahead and move on to the next perk. Alright, Whispers. You have a rudimentary understanding of the entity's voice. Sporadically hear the entity's whisper when standing within a 32-meter range of a survivor. Okay. This is another perk that I think I've used once. I don't really care for this perk either. It's just another one. I think it's kind of a gimmicky perk, really. I mean, I'm sure it works. I'm sure there's people that do use it all the time, but it's not a perk that I use. I don't like this perk at all. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next perk. Okay, Unrelenting. This is a very rare perk. You recuperate faster from any attack made with your main weapon. The cooldown of missed attacks is reduced by 9%. The cooldown of successful attacks is decreased by 6%. Okay, this is a decent perk. It's not one that I use myself. It is okay though. I don't really like it myself. Okay, here's another perk that I don't really use. It's an ultra rare perk. Spies from the Shadows. The crows found in the world can communicate directly with you. 75% of the time, cawing crows give you visual cue when you're within 36-meter range. I don't really like this perk either. If you just pay attention to the crows, they're going to give you a visual cue pretty much anyway. If you just watch when they fly away, you know that somebody's over there. I think this one's a perk that they probably need to do away with, maybe replace it with something else. Just my opinion again. But yeah, we're going to move on to the next perk now. Iron Grasp. Your powerful hold on survivors causes escapes to be nearly impossible. Effects of survivors struggling are reduced by 75%. Time to struggle out of your grasp is increased by 60%. Okay, now I absolutely freaking love this perk. I mean, love it. Okay. This perk is one that I hope that they never get rid of. I did, however, hear that they're going to nerf it some, which really sucks, because I use this perk and I use it to its full advantage. Like, literally, if someone tries taking down all my hooks, like I said earlier, I don't care, because I will carry that person all the way to the freaking basement if I have to. I don't enjoy using the basement, and I don't like relying on the basement, but I will carry a survivor all the way to the basement from the opposite side of the map with this perk. I've done it way more times than I can even count. I'm pretty sure since I've gotten this perk, survivors have only gotten off my shoulder maybe 2 times. I know it's less than 5, for sure. This is a perk that, if you're the trapper, you should definitely get. As I said though in the last Twitch stream, the devs did say that they're gonna go ahead and probably nerf this one some. I'm not looking forward to that at all. But let's just go ahead and move on to the next perk. Alright, Sloppy Butcher. You know where to hit to make them bleed. Wounds inflicted by successful attacks considerably increase the survivor's bleeding frequency. Bleeding returns to normal once the survivor is healed. This is another one that I don't use. I mean, you probably could use this one. I mean, I'm sure you can, because it's right there. It's a perk. You can select it. You can use it. I just don't. Making them bleed more. I mean, if you really want to just spend your time staring at the ground looking for blood, you can do that, but I guarantee you more survivors are going to be getting past you because you can't be looking ahead and see them running around in front of you. Yeah, I don't use this perk. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the perks that I use pretty much every match. Deer Stalker. It's one of my probably top 2. Like I said, I like it because if you're carrying a survivor, you have to throw them down. You want to go chase after another survivor. You don't want to have to worry about having to be able to find that person, like if they crawled off into the grass or they crawled off into the middle of the stage or something else. If you can go back to where you were, most likely you're going to find that person, because as long as you're standing within a 36-meter range, you can see a red aura. Even if they're in tall grass or behind a tree, behind a wall, doesn't matter. You can see where they're at. But now that's only if they're in a dying state. It's if they're on the ground, if they've already been knocked down, if you've hit them twice, or if you've hit them one time after the gates are powered and use the other perk that I love. Okay, as I said though, Deer Stalker, that's definitely one of my all-time favorites. Insidious, that has to be my second favorite, because it's an amazing perk. If you stand still, there's no terror radius. I mean, end of story. It's as simple as that. No need for more explanation. That's just how it is, you know. It's just a really good perk. Okay, no one escapes death. This one is a big, you know, There's no question. You need this perk. It's a good one. Um, Basically, after the gates are powered, you hit them one time, they're going down. One of the best things that I like to do is knock one down and then go chase after another one. Knock them down. Try to get as many of them on the ground as you can, because I don't know if anybody realizes this, but if you have all 4 survivors on the ground, they can't help each other up if they're on the ground. So you can just run around and take your time and pick them up and hang them up. Now you do want to watch out and not let them bleed out, because if they bleed out, you don't get nearly as many points as you would have if you sacrifice them. Sacrificing is always the way to go, guys. I know there's add-ons where you can kill them while they're on the ground. That's cool. It's kind of gimmicky. Yeah, you're a killer. You can kill people on the ground. Woohoo. I mean, yeah, I've done it. It's cool. I still do it from time to time, but it's not something I would recommend that you do all the time. If you want to get more points, you want to chase the survivors, you want to hang them on the hooks. There's a lot of killers that camp. There are ways to camp where you can still get points. It's all about strategy. If you camp right in front of the hook, walking back and forth, you're doing nothing but draining yourself of blood points. I mean, literally, at the end of that match, if you've camped, you will not get your pip to be able to move you on down in the ranks. The lower the number, the better you are, basically. That's how the game goes. You are not going to be a higher rank if you camp. I mean, you can camp, you can even get 3 out of 4 survivors and still not get a pip. Trust me, I've seen it happen. It's happened to me myself, because when I first played the game, I camped them. Because it's all about not wanting to let that person go because you caught them. Well, you can't really put that much stake into one survivor. There's 4 of them, and all 4 of them are blood points. The more blood points you get, the better you are at the game. So don't camp, guys. I mean, there's a reason why they don't give us tents and sleeping bags. We have a hatchet, a trapper, bear traps. We're supposed to use those. We're not roasting marshmallows and singing Kumbaya, okay? We're here to kill survivors. That's what we're here for, okay? Alright, and the very, very last perk that's in the list of perks that I use all the time, the Iron Grasp. That one, hands down, the best. Like I said, I can carry a survivor from one end of the level to the other without them getting off my back. You can't even feel them struggle at all. If you haven't had this perk, you know what I'm talking about. When they struggle on your back, it's literally like you've got a backseat driver back there. You cannot even control your character because they're moving you so much back and forth. And it's hard to navigate the game with a survivor on your back, wiggling. But this takes care of that. Well, guys, it looks like I'm out of time on this video, but if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give me a like, subscribe, and tell your friends. Thanks.